So it's a little bit more than 2 years ago that I made my career switch. I used to be an international business developer traveling the world, the breadwinner of the family. And 2 years ago, I made the switch to become a full-time stay-at-home dad. And it's been exciting last 2 years, and it's been a good last 2 years. But sometimes I find myself surprised about myself, about my personality. Because, for example, a week ago, the Swiss government decided to reject the parental leave initiative that was on the table. 20 days parental leave for fathers that work. And I felt the urge to strike. I felt the urge to speak up. And that's kind of surprising because I'm not raised as a striker. My parents prefer to avoid conflicts. To avoid conflicts in general. Don't scream, don't shout. It has to be all nice and calm. So I always found it also difficult to speak up about a matter because I would always think there's somebody else that knows better. Somebody else that has more knowledge or in-depth background information on the topic at hand. Let them show and tell their ideas about the topic. But right now it's different because I feel that I master the topic of parenting and the impact of attachment that parents have with their children. That's so extremely important. And that makes me so angry if I see these initiatives rejected in a government. And I live in Switzerland, in central Switzerland, Luzern, and it might not have come as a surprise. Switzerland is a country in Europe that introduced female voting rights only 1970. 1970. And there's even one canton, Canton Appenzell, they introduced it in 1990. I don't think that Holland is the perfect example of these topics, but at least they introduced it in 1919. So that was a bit earlier than Switzerland here. And I think that, I'm a bit disappointed that a country cannot learn from history, and it seems that they are on the way to make the same mistake again, but this time with male parental leave programs, for example. The argument they give is that's too expensive. Well, I live in Switzerland. It's the wealthiest country in the world. The wealthiest country in the world. Number one place to live, according to many statistics. It's all about economy. I really struggle with that conflict here in Switzerland and the decision of this government to reject this parental leave program. Another argument they give is that it's extra hurtful for small and medium enterprises, that it's not an honest measurement of a government to take because small and medium enterprises will suffer more than the bigger ones with a lot of employees. So what they say is actually the responsibility of the companies themselves to introduce those parental leave programs. And that's exactly what's happening and what is harming small and medium enterprises much more. Because the bigger companies like Novartis is the one that gives the best example. They have a very generous parental leave program, and Google as well. So that creates a pull factor of talent. If you're very talented, you rather work for Novartis or Google than this small, medium-sized enterprise because they have lousy parental leave programs. You become a father and the Swiss law doesn't allow you one day of parental leave. There is not one day in this country that is allowed. They might give you 1, they might give you 2. But Novartis gives 90 days. Google gives 60 days. So that there's no level playing field there. And it hurts small and medium enterprises much more if a government doesn't stand up and takes its responsibility in this matter. Well, I can get very angry about this, and that's new for me. It wasn't the case like this before. But I wanted to share this with you, and if you like it, come and join me and come and strike here in Luzern for parental leave. Okay, see you with love from Luzern. Bye-bye.